In this video I'm going to be walking home and I'm going to tell you my whole story, my life story. So this is not a video for everyone. If you're not interested in me or what I do or my music or my brand or me as a person, then I don't know why you're here. Go away. But if you're curious to know where I come from and what I'm about, this video is going to tell you exactly that. Let's get into it. My name's Adam Holmes. I was born in 1990 in Edinburgh in Scotland, in a small seaside town just about 4 miles outside of Edinburgh called Portobello. And at the time it was kind of a rough place. It had previously been one of the UK's top holiday destinations until cheap flight came in and changed that. And what happened after that was all the people started to go on holiday in Malaga and places like that, in Spain, and it kind of became this twisted fairy tale. I grew up there, one of 8 kids. I experienced a lot of abuse in my upbringing, and I experienced a lot of mental health issues as well. The house I grew up in was in some ways a mental health drop-in centre for the community, and I was actually often looked after by people who were not mentally that well. And in amongst all of this, I kind of learned how to listen to people. I kind of learned how to read people, how to sense what people were experiencing emotionally. And later on, this would lead me ultimately to where I am now. We'll get into that. But for now, we're still in Portobello. I'm 15 years old, and I decide that I'm going to leave Portobello and move into town, because town is where everything worthwhile happens. And around that time I got addicted to uppers. At the time I didn't know it, but looking back I was attempting to self-medicate myself from the grip of what I would later discover to be pretty chronic ADHD and quite possibly autism as well, as suspected by my therapist. Now around the age of 15, 2 really close friends died, and I went down a spiral of drugs, of drinking, and really into a negative place. But I knew I had to earn because I didn't have financial support. So I found myself a job on a building site, and I started to work for a small company that did new townhouse renovations all over Edinburgh. And I learned there how to work. Hard work, digging, lifting stuff. Cold months, hard work. £187 a week I made at that job, but it was enough to afford my lodgings, and it was enough to afford cigarettes and alcohol and a good time at the weekend. And I really learned how to work through that experience. And around that time I was rapping as well. I was starting to write raps, starting to make beats. All throughout my childhood, my mum had taken me to these kind of folk pubs in Scotland. There's many of them in Edinburgh. There's 3 still in Edinburgh that have live music every single night, still. And when I was a kid, she would take me there, and I learned all about the music there. And when I was 15, 16, I developed more into the rap side of things, and I started to produce stuff. I started to rap, I started to collaborate. And I learned the skills of production at that stage, and I built those skills. I started to gig a little bit. Now, a wee while after that, I'm 20 years old. I've been working on the building site for 4 years at this point, 4 or 5 years. And my dad, who lived in a different part of the town, got sick around that time. He got cancer. And at one point I was going to be a cabinet maker like him. He was going to train me up. But that wasn't to be. Even though I did train for a little while, I did learn a bit of the skills. My dad got sick when I was 21. Very, very aggressive form of cancer. And I was caring for him. I was going out into the world. I was auditioning for bands. And I joined a successful folk band in Scotland called Rura around that time. So really I was going between 2 lives. One life was playing all over the world, playing in bands, getting signed. Very exciting time. A lot of external success. And the other half of the time I was caring for my dad. And that was very challenging. So he passed in June of 2012, and I was 21 years old at the time. And later on, I began to experience PTSD, connected to events in my childhood, connected to events around my dad passing and the particular way that he passed. And this was when I sought out therapy. You know, I didn't have any examples really in my life, honestly, of how to be a functioning human being, how to even have money or have a family or have good relationships. I didn't have an example, apart from my brother Colin, who seemed to be doing better than me, seemed to be doing better than most people in my family, in my view, in terms of the things that I wanted to achieve. So I asked him, what did you do? He said, I went to cognitive behavioral therapy. I went on Google. I Googled cognitive behavioral therapy, age 22. I'm 35 now, and I've been going now for 12 years, 13 years, and it changed my life. It made everything better. It made everything easier and harder in other ways. I had to learn how to implement boundaries within my family structure. I had to learn how to experience my emotions and not react to them. I had to learn how to have the self-awareness to challenge my own beliefs about what I was capable of. And I started to build quite a positive change in my life, in the sense that my mindset was improving. I was making more money, I was doing more gigs, I was getting leaner, I was feeling healthy. And then I met a girl who was a musician. And we'd been dating about 3 months, and she got pregnant. Now, when she got pregnant, I went to see her, and she said to me, look, if this happens, I have to do it. I could never get rid of this baby. And I just said to her, I'm with you 100%. No matter what, I'm there. Let's do it. And we tried. We tried to do it together. We lasted about 2 years. And it was very challenging. And then COVID hit. And we were trying to wade our way through COVID and figure out how to parent. And she's a musician too, and figuring out how to be a musician. But I knew that I couldn't keep touring. I couldn't keep being away, because I wanted to be around for my daughter Rosa. I wanted to provide for her. I wanted to be in her life. I wanted to be in and amongst her life, have my boots at the door and be present for her. And so I started to build my online presence. And at first I was embarrassed and nervous and shy and scared of being cringe and all that. But I started to do it. Started to build short form videos and put myself out there, and I posted every single day, maybe 3 to 5 times a day for about 2 years. And it changed my life. Changed my life. I now have 1 million followers. I have 50,000 monthly listeners. I have a club, and there's 1,000 of us in there, and I coach on creative living, staying regulated, staying healthy, living a good life. And I help people make their own music too. I help people produce their albums. I've made 10 of my own albums in my personal journey as an artist. And I've helped dozens of other people create their own albums too. And these days what I do is I play a lot of village halls in Scotland, so I can be close to Rosa. And I live in the beautiful meadows of Edinburgh, and I love it. I love living here. I feel appreciative every single day when I wake up to be here, to be healthy. I work out. I like feeling healthy. And that's me. And it's good to meet you. And if you resonate with what I do, I want to invite you in to come and join the club. There's only 8 weeks left for you to get in at the low cost spot, and then it's increasing significantly. So come join us. And also, if you want to apply to work with me one-on-one, you can do that by clicking the link in the top comment. Maybe we'd be a good fit to work together on a record. I hope you have a beautiful day. Cheers for having a walk with me. I'll catch up with you soon. Peace.